Hello everyone, welcome to another Technique Tuesday. And for this technique, this is I believe it's like a blackout type um, technique. But I wanted to do kind of a twofer, I guess, or maybe three. And this one here I did with, I blended the colors and then I highlighted with the pigment white ink. And so I'm going to work on these two techniques. Turn on another light here. There we go. Better. And so this one here is embossed and this one here is debossed. And so um, it does make a difference on which way that you do. If you did this one, this technique with the embossed, what would be black would be the flowers, and what would in the background would be what would be colored. And so with the embossing folder, so if you have the Stampin' Up! Logo facing you, then this is the style that you get. If you turn it over and put your cardstock in, then this would be how you get the debossed. And so that's just a little tip there. And you do kind of get a little bit inky, and this is a little bit of a messy type thing. But we're going, and I've got an old glass mat that I have, my new ones not came in from the ones that they have with Stampin' Up! Right now that are like a white creamy color. This one here is an old one from when we used to have a circle cutter. And so I have this piece of paper over it because it does have some glare to it. But anyway, so we're going to get started. I think we'll do this one first just because this one's quite messy. So I'll start with this one before we get to the extra messy one. But instead of just using regular cardstock, I decided I wanted to do, this is our 100 fluid watercolor paper. And so it seemed to take the color a lot smoother than our regular paper did. And then I spritz it just a little bit so that whenever I put it through the embossing folder, it does not like crack or anything like that. So I'm going to bring in my colors that we're going to use. All right, so I have Pretty and Pink, and I've got Lemon Lolly and Pool Party. And then I also have the little blenders for that. And so I'm going to do both of these card pieces for at the same time to kind of save a little bit of time on that. So I'm going to grab the pink first. And this has been an extra juicy ink pad, and so I've been trying to like brush it with a plastic spoon, sorry, to make it where the center that I can use it to stamp with because it's super splotchy. But I figured out if I used it this way, I could use up some of that ink and not be a problem. So on this watercolor paper, and I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera, I'm going to just keep working. Just work my way down. I want to add color. And I guess I could have done this before I cut it apart. But I just feel that it's a little bit easier to control when you're doing a smaller piece than if you're doing a larger piece. This is a little bit easier, like whenever I get that splotch, I can work it in. And then also, when I spritz it with water, I think that it smooths it out a little bit. You can do it in swirls if you want, but I like to do, just back and forth. Just keep working my way down. Like that. Okay, so then I'm going to work with my yellow next. And this is Lemon Lolly. Go ahead and open up my pool party. Okay, I'm not going to start right here where it's at. I'm going to start just past it and work my way up and down. And then I'm going to go over that edge. I'm going to get some orange going. Same right here. Just working back and forth. Sorry about the shaking in the camera. I have made a purchase to try to help alleviate that, but I just haven't been able to install yet. Let's see what we can do about that here shortly. Okay, so I'm going to work the yellow now up into the pretty and pink. Come on down. Because we're using 3 colors, but we're going to end up with 5. When we blend together, I'll come back and get pink again. Blend it into that yellow to get our orange. As you work with it, you see it giving you the gradient colors there. All right, so now then it's time to do our pool party. That's pool party, yeah. So I want blue down there at the bottom. And as I work my way up, I'll get green. What's nice about having glass mat is that it's easy cleanup when you're done. I'm kind of looking forward to my new one coming. This is a nice size, but I think the other one might be just a little bit bigger. You can see that rainbow color. We've got the pinkish red into orange, yellow, green, and blue. Okay, so I think that one might be pretty well done. So let's do this one here, and when we get this part done, then we're finished with this type of mess, but then the black gets kind of messy, and so does the white a little bit, but not near as much as the black one. And this is just kind of, I don't know why it is, but it's a little bit relaxing doing this one. So blending on watercolor paper, you get kind of a smoother finish. And I'll show you in a moment what I mean by that. So right now it looks kind of splotchy. You can see that, but not, oh, just got my finger there. Not in the, oh, how it is on regular our Whisper White cardstock. When we do it on that, you get a lot of the brush marks. This you can pretty well blend it in. Okay, so they both, I think, look pretty good. It almost looks like I did it as a whole sheet, but I didn't. So I'm going to close this up. I am going to go ahead and grab a tissue because there's ink here on this edge and I don't want to grab it later and get it all over me. Close that. Close up all of these. And these are done the exact same way, and this is a little bit more pastel and this is a little bolder. And I will try to explain that as we go for each technique. All right, so what I'm going to do is, being I'm doing both of these pieces kind of the same, I'm going to take my water, and I've just got some water in this little spritzer bottle. I'm going to go ahead and spritz it on these. I think that's what smooths it out, is the fact that it's watercolor paper. I'll dry it up a little bit. Kind of makes them run together. Then I want to bring in my folder. I'm going to take this one because this one is going to be, I think I'm going to color this one black because I've got that little smear on there. So I'm going to pick this one up. I'm going to put them back to back. And I'm going to put them both through at the same time. Like that. Because we're going to need this again. See all that yucky color. Bring in my machine. My 4 plate, and then my number 1. Put this that way. And then we'll start cranking this through. Uh-oh. Did not get my folder in there correctly. I was scraping on the edge. You gotta be careful of that. Sorry about that. All right, so let's see what we have here. So this one is debossed. And this one is embossed. See the difference? This one goes in, this one comes up. Now on the inside here, there's a little bit of ink, but I'll clean that up after a while. All right, so I need to bring in, and I need to get these dry. This one I probably don't need to get dry, but this one here I do need it to dry. I'll bring in, this is just a cutting board and some aluminum foil. And I want to have it completely dry. So get it started. And see how much smoother those colors look now that it's been spritzed and everything. Okay, so we'll set that over there. So it can finish drying. We'll need that again shortly. The aluminum foil just helps to reflect the heat back. This one here's the one we're going to work on. All right. So I need this is my white re-inker for my white ink pad. Now there's a couple different ways that you could do this. I've seen where people have taken their ink pad and wiped across it, but I don't know if this color will transfer onto my white pad. So to save myself from having to fix that later, I decided to just add a little bit of ink on my glass mat, because that's the great thing about this mat, is that you just put a little bit of ink on there and then you can wipe it away later. Okay, and then I'm going to take a finger dauber. We sell these in packs. I think of maybe 3. It's either 3 or 5, but I think it's 3. So I'm just going to smooth this out and get it all over the tip of this dauber. And then where it's raised up, I'm just going to swipe it on there. I want it on the raised up portion more than on the center portion. In between those images, if you get a little bit around each one, that's fine. And when you put it on to begin with, it's really pretty bright white, but as it dries, it will dry a little bit softer. See the differences? This one's really bright white and this is a little bit more muted. So we just keep working on each one of the raised up flowers and just work it in. Okay, just pick up some more. And with this being colored the way that it is, it's easy to see it. And you don't want to press, because if you press, it'll get down in the groove. You don't want to do that. I've got a couple other really fun techniques in the coming weeks that I want to share, but I've been seeing everybody doing this one. And I thought, you know what? I want to give more than just that technique. So I thought, well, I will just add this technique to go along with it. Okay, so I've used up all the ink I had out, so I need to add another couple drops. I'm almost finished. I don't want to waste it. I'll just keep. I'm getting ink on my fingers, but it'll wipe off with a baby wipe. And it just gives it this nice little soft effect. And with that, like I said, using the watercolor paper, It gives it that soft, smooth, blended look. And I love that look. Okay. I think I want a little bit more white on these smaller ones down here at the bottom in this pool party. There's some white on them. Like I said, it dries a little and it takes it a long while to dry. All right, so here's the mess we have. So I'm going to take a wipe, getting pretty low. I'm just going to come up and just wipe that clean. That's the nice thing about a glass mat. All right, so I need to bring this back in and we need to dry this. Okay, so I'm going to show you, at least I hope I will, that even when you've dried it, if you put it down and you're pressing, well, it didn't do it this time. Oh, I didn't have that cleaned up over there, but it still comes off. Yeah, there it is. It's coming off a little bit because it's not 100% dry. But see, that's the difference. See, it kind of almost, it's not pearl, almost looks like a chalk on it, but it's with the way that I spritzed it with water and then put it through the embossing folder. It made that, the pressure made the color blend well together. So there's that. So I will bring in, this piece is just cut in half. It's like a 5 inches by 7, I believe. And so we cut it in half so that we get it at 3.5 by 5, roughly at that. It's just under 5. It's like it's like 15/16 maybe, something like that. It's just that small notch under the 5. And so my black piece of cardstock here is 3 3/4. I was cutting it at 5 1/4, but it was being very extra long. So I cut it at 5 1/8 just to kind of split the difference. And then I've got this 4 to emboss. And this is seafoam green, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. Trying to get those lined up. Okay, like that. And then we're going to add these together. I'm going to use my Tombow multi-purpose glue and add into the corners. I'm going to go around the edges because this is embossed. We need to make certain it adheres well. So I'm going to place that down here and try to center the best that I can. Flip this over and press because I'm getting white on my hands. I can feel the chalkiness on my hands. Okay, so I'm going to take my, you can do tear tape, you can do stamp and seal, however you want to do it. And I'm going to add some glue. Here on the back. So I'm going to add my ribbon. And the ribbon that I'm going to use for this card, it's petal pink and white diagonal trim combo ribbon. And I'm using the white. And these are just little sewing pins. They come in a little tub. They're called petite pearlized pins for like quilting and different things. And so that's what I use to hold my ribbons. So just a little extra there. And so I'm going to bring this in, attach it there. Come down, and there's scissors here that aren't for paper. So I'll use them for turn it over, press. Kind of make certain I get it straight the best that I can. There we go. And then I'll wrap this back up. I have a tendency to knock my ribbon off the counter. And then when it hits on the floor, it hits like this and unrolls. So I was looking for something I could use, and I saw where somebody used some pins, and I found these short ones, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. All right, so we're going to add, I have some black dimensionals. I don't use these very often, but being we are using black cardstock here, I thought that would be great to use. And we're almost done. Got a couple little extra things to add. Right, so here's our base, and this is the way that it opens. These come off this quite well. I have white ones that seems to not want to release no matter how I do it. Right, so we're going to add this. Try to center on our card front. Isn't that beautiful? Looks so nice. Oh, I needed that ribbon again. Okay, so I need another piece. I'll cut it kind of long so that I can slide it up underneath here. And then I'm going to crisscross and do kind of like a faux bow. And trim away. So far that's quite pretty. And now we're going to do our birthday. So this one's going to be Happy Birthday. And that is out of our Unbounded Love stamp set right here. It's got lots of nice little sentiments. But I always need birthday cards, so a lot of times I will do birthdays. Now, I did try I tried stamping with the white pigment ink and then embossing, and I just couldn't get it to look right. So I decided to go back to my Versamark. So I'm going to add this all over. And this will brush off later, so it just helps you to be able to see where it is that you're stamping. I did re-ink my Versamart before I did this card. Okay, so I can see the happy birthday on there. I'm going to go ahead and cover this up. Inevitably, I will get the powder right into that. This little spoon. Take my white embossing powder. Just add it. Get rid of any excess. Okay. Oh. Right. And then we're going to bring in this again. And our heat tool. Now as it turns shiny, just keep moving. Because if you stay in one place too long, it'll turn back dull because you melted it too far. Okay. I want this to cool just a little bit. Usually if I have jeans on, I'll use my jeans to wipe this powdery stuff off. Okay, so there's my happy birthday. And then I want to take my scissors. We're going to cut it out. I'm moving my paper and trying to keep my scissors as pretty well straight as I can. Fussy cutting really doesn't take that long. And with this type of script, it's just kind of zigzag a little bit and you're good. I'll take some dimensionals, some black ones again. So this one I have the pink at the bottom. The other one I put the pink at the top because you can do it however you want. Bring this in and just place your happy birthday. You can also do, you've got alcohol and shimmer. So this one has some Wink of Stella and alcohol. So I can spritz it. And then as it dries, it'll be all shiny. And I can see the shiny on the happy birthday already. So there is our first card. So put that there. Whoops. And we'll move the happy birthday out of the way. And we are done with all of the inks. I'll scooch that off to the side. Those. And now then we're going to bring this in. Okay, so how we're going to do that is we're going to add Memento re-inker to our Memento pad. Like that. So now we're going to work on this one. Okay. And with this one, I'm going to try to hold this flat, and we're going to just swipe. You don't want to press into it. You're just kind of adding the black to the section that's at the top, and the floral, because this one's debossed, will stay with some of the color. Swipe. I just keep turning it. And my fingers are getting rather black, I'm certain of it. And by me re-inking it, it helps with the coverage. And I'm not pressing it completely flat. See my fingers? But that's all right, because I can take this wipe, clean my fingers up, tissue, get the worst of that, and take the wipe, clean up the mess. All right, so I'm going to bring in this again, and we're going to try to heat set it and dry it the best that we can, because this is watercolor paper. It does stay wet. So I'm trying to get as much of this off my fingertips as I can. Then I'm going to show you another trick so that it doesn't come off on the recipient. Alright, so I'm going to bring this in. I'll put this down. And that Versamark that we used to do the embossing, we're now going to use on this. And it doesn't matter if it gets down in those grooves or not. It helps make the colors more vibrant if it does. Now I'm putting it on pretty heavy here. There's a reason for that. And I am pressing it into, not just rubbing across, I'm pressing it into so that it gets down into those flowers. Okay. Now we're going to bring in some clear embossing. Let me grab that spoon. Oh, my keyboard. And then we're going to pick this up. We're going to just start dumping it on here. See the difference? I'm going to turn this around. We're going to do the same this way. We'll just tap out what we can, just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to set this over here because I don't want to shoot it all over the place. Put this back in. And you should be able to see it change. Go from dull to really black. And it makes those colors that were there before even more vibrant. If we don't do that, that black ink will come off on your hands for the whoever receives it. Okay, so we're going to put that down again. We're going to do this again. So we're going to add first mark. Okay. Bring in this clear embossing powder again. I have them in different types of containers so that I know which is which. Because if they were in the same, it's hard to tell which one's white and which one's clear. I don't get it all knocked off. That's fine too. This in. And this will heat emboss one more time. See how pretty that is and shiny? Okay. So that needs to cool just a little bit. Clean up my mess here, or I'll have this everywhere. All right, so I put my lids on. All right, so now our card pieces. I think I forgot to do the sentiment piece, but I can still do that one. All right, so I want to add glue to the back of this. See, it even soaked through the paper. I'm going to add that to the front here. Like that. We're going to hold it for a moment. We have some pink ribbon. Add this to the bottom here. We'll grab some ribbon. Put a few dimensionals on the back of this. For whatever reason, these are super shiny, and so I have a hard time getting these backings off. They seem a little thicker too. So I pull them completely off the card. Without even knowing it. Awesome powder. That stuff gets absolutely everywhere. I'm gonna put that right about there. Crisscross. And tie my bow. Like that. So there we go. There's our bow. Trim this end a little bit. All right. I like this ribbon because it works well with, it's very pliable. Okay, so I don't have a piece for my sentiment, but I'm gonna look and see if I have something in one of my little magic places that's got bits and pieces. I'm looking. Okay, nothing in that one. This one I did something different. And this one, I think I'm going to choose Be of Good Courage because I think that'll fit. Yep. Right, so we need our black. I'll scooch this up here. So when I stamp, though, I want to stamp on this squishier. Well, I don't know. This is not photopolymer, so I can do it up here. So I'll ink this up. And it's super juicy, it looks like. So it turned out pretty good. Be of Good Courage. We're going to take a few dimensionals. And they're coming off the thing. All right, so we're almost finished here. I'll tuck this. Where's the strangest place you found one of these dimensional backs? I'm telling you what, they're everywhere. And we'll tuck this underneath there, near that bow. And there we go. So there's the one I made before. And this one I didn't do 2 layers. I just did 1 layer. So it's not near as shiny compared to this one. It's really glossy. And here's the one I made before and the one I just made. So first off, first technique is doing your blending on watercolor paper, spritzing with a little bit of water, just tapping it dry and putting it through an embossing folder, and it smooths out your gradient colors. That's the first one. The second one is adding the white craft ink but I used a finger dauber and the re-inker and adding it to the embossed parts of the card. And then the second part is doing a deboss and adding your black ink, but so that the black ink doesn't come off on the recipient's hands, then putting Versamark over the top and putting clear embossing powder and embossing, and then also putting it on there a second time and putting clear embossing powder and embossing. So then that way it's a shiny bit of background, but it's very pretty and it makes your colors very, this is more muted pink and that makes it very bright pink. Same with the yellow and the this is more of a greenish turquoise down here, where this is blue, the green, and then the yellow, orange, and pink. So I think this one is probably one of my favorite ones. I love how it's so soft and beautiful. This one here is pretty cool too. So tell me in the comments below, which one is your favorite? Would you rather use the white ink to make it more of a softer, subtle? And or would you rather use the black ink to make it that bold color like that? And also, have you tried using our watercolor paper to do your blending and see how it's so much a smoother color than if you do it on our regular cardstock? Because once you blend it out, you spritz it with a little bit of water, and then the pressure of going through the embossing folder makes it smooth out. I don't know what the physics is behind that, but that was a little happy, find that I found. So I just wanted to share that with you. So in the comments below, tell me what you think of this. I really love your feedback. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of my techniques or my Make It Mondays, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel and just give this video a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. I love, hearing from people. I love the comments when people leave comments. I love seeing the thumbs up, and share it. Get the word out there, and share it with, if you're a demonstrator, share it with other, your downline or your customers or what have you. So but thank you so much for joining me for another Technique Tuesday, and thank you for pressing play. I will see you later. Thank you and happy stamping. Bye-bye.